we're talking about something that I think is really fun. We're talking about vision boarding this week. And I know for a lot of people, they're like, oh, it's just, I don't have time. I'm not interested in working on my mindset. Visualization just hasn't worked for me. And I'm here to tell you that making a vision board not only can be fun, but it can also be very inspiring for your business. I feel like entrepreneurs, so many times, we don't allow ourselves to dream. We get bogged down in the day to day slog of it all. And we forget that creating this vision board can be a place for us to dream, to get excited about, to again check in with our goals and make sure we're on track for where we need to be. So let's dive into a couple things about vision boarding, some things that have really helped me in this process that I think can probably help you as well. So first of all, a lot of people question, what is a vision board at all? A lot of people think that it's a giant size poster board that you can cut out magazine pictures, and it absolutely can be that, but it can also be other things. It could be a visual representation. So you could get onto Pinterest and create a private board with a whole bunch of digital images, or you could focus on the magazine and the poster board. You could focus on a smaller aspect. So I keep my vision board inside my planner. It's something that I look at every day. It's a really good reminder to keep and stay focused on what I'm working towards. Because again, if you have a hard day, it's really hard to remember why you're doing this. And having that vision board there is super helpful for me. Now, for you, a vision board could be all images or it could be text as well. It just really depends on what you're working on and what you respond to. So, if text with a bunch of words or speech bubbles, things like that, if that's better for you, by all means, this project could be anything to anyone. So, whatever works better for you, make sure that you're doing what works for you. Another thing to keep in mind is that this vision board could be for short-term or long-term goals. It could be what you are doing this year. It could be what you're doing over the next 10 years. It can really be anything that you want it to be. Now, I get together with my best friend and we do our vision boarding every single year. So we set aside New Year's Eve, we get together all day and we talk about our hopes, our dreams, and our visions for the upcoming year. I think having someone to do this with is super helpful because then you can bounce ideas off of them. They might encourage you to dream bigger, which I think is so important. A lot of times we limit ourselves when really the sky's the limit. I also like to integrate my word of the year into my vision board. So I put my word of the year in the center with the description or the definition of what that word is, because I feel like it's very helpful to keep that front of mind. So my word of the year this year is dauntless. I know that I've got a lot of big things coming up and I need to reach deep down and make sure that I am focused on no matter what happens, getting through it without fear. I think fear can be huge for a lot of entrepreneurs. There's a lot of unknowns out there, and calling that to the front of mind and saying, you know what, there's going to be some things this year that are going to be really scary for me to deal with, but I'm prepared and I'm ready for those things because this year I'm going to be dauntless. Now, here's another big decision that you need to make is where do you put this vision board? And this might also influence how big you make it. So for me, I mentioned that I keep mine in my planner, but I have before created banner size. Now, when I say banner, you're probably thinking massive, huge banner. I actually had small banners made that I stacked on top of each other on the back of my office door. So every time I closed my office door to focus on a project or something I was working on, I saw those vision boards broken down by year. Now, the other thing that I really love to do because it was made out of that banner type material is I got myself the biggest Sharpie I could find. And when I accomplished one of those goals on my vision board, I took that giant Sharpie and made it a huge X mark on it. It was so satisfying, not in the moment to check those big goals off, but also to see those banners every time I was working on something and knowing that soon I would get to check another thing off my list. Seems a little goofy, but super powerful. On that same token, if it's something that you want to see every single day because it's top of mind, so it's important to keep it where you recognize it, think about your phone or your background on your laptop. Create a desktop image of your vision board, whether that's scanning it or using those digital images. Sizing it to wherever you're looking every day is huge. So for me, it's on my desktop wallpaper, it's on my iPhone, and it's also in my planner. So no matter what I'm working on, my vision board is always there. And because I'm starting to travel again, keeping it digital makes it so much easier to keep track of it. And again, remember where my focus needs to be. Now, I can also use a digital check mark to check mark off those things that I'm really excited about finishing up. One thing that I think that we forget to do a lot is we forget to check in with our vision boards. So, like I mentioned, keeping it handy definitely helps with that. But keep in mind that you can make updates to your vision board because your life is going to evolve. Things are going to change. Those goals you had 2 years ago might not be the goals that you're looking for now. Just know that those updates can be made anytime and don't be afraid to adjust them because this is something that is motivating you, and being free to make those changes will only help. So whichever route you decide to go, whether that's digital or paper, having a vision board handy can make a huge difference in your visualization, your affirmations, and just your business in general. Having those goals can make a huge difference because that also motivates you to keep up on your quarterly goals, which leads to your monthly, weekly, and daily goals as well.